Welcome to the Northern Premier League Goal Show, our run through of the action from the weekend. We start in the North East, South Shields against Atherton Collieries. South Shields now 8 points clear at the top of the table following another win at the weekend, 3-0. They had a few chances beforehand. Gary Brown squeezing one wide in the first half. And then after Oliver Byrne saved from close range, the tap-in was disallowed for offside. Atherton had a chance to their own. Jordan Cover blazing that one wide from a decent position as the newly promoted Coles took the game to the hosts. But eventually the pressure told. David Foley, the first of his two strikes, past the keeper for 1-0 there. And then a new signing, Olu Odelusi on his debut, the former Bolton Wanderers and Coventry City man, heading home with a background of protest for handball. Looks a bit sheepish, but it was given. That was 2-0, and then Foley made doubly sure of the points. And with nearest rivals Whitby in FA Cup action, South Shields pull 8 points clear at the top of the table.
But obviously when we got the lead, I think we never looked back. Some great play today. Like I say, if it was 5 or 6 today, I don't think they could have had any complaints. Second half was more to do with just keeping possession and killing the game off, and I think we demoralised them. Even though the front two kept on working hard, I think they struggled really to get any foothold in the game second half, and we killed the game. So hopefully that saved a little bit of energy for Tuesday night now.
Basford United are second in the Premier Division after they got the better of Gainsborough Trinity at the weekend. The first goal coming for Brad Gascoigne at the back post. He won't score an easier one than that surely in the first half to give them the lead. Kane Richards was a menace to Gainsborough throughout. He rose well to head that one in. That was the first of his 2 goals of the afternoon. And although Ross Hanna pulled one back for Gainsborough, the assistant manager's first goal of the season, it took just a minute for Basford to restore their 2-goal advantage. Richards, the man again, poaching one from inside the goal mouth. Richards then turned provider for Corey Grantham. Check out this for a through ball. And Grantham tucked it away for 4-1. And that looked like being it for Basford. But Gainsborough, they rallied. And a mistake from Jack Thomas, squandering possession, enabled Myron Gibbons to give Gainsborough a little bit of hope with 15 minutes left.
Morrison, who's beat Galinsky. It's back to Ross Hanna, who has a shot well blocked by Bateman. Still not away for Basford.
And then Simon Russell
shoots and
scored a goal in back-to-back games. Curling one home with 8 to play, but in the end Basford did just enough to hold out to win 4-3. Radcliffe welcomed Hyde in a Manchester derby. And they took a 17th minute lead when Liam Ellis struck home. Ellis went close to a second, a great save there from Ollie Martin, keeping the score at 1-0. Hyde themselves had chances. A header from close range over the bar before Ellis was barged into by Oren Thompson for a penalty late on. Tyrese Sinclair putting that away with 5 minutes to play and made the point safe for Radcliffe, and they put icing on that cake just moments later. Sinclair involved again, dummying through, his ball to the back post, headed home by Rick Smith. Hyde have now just won 1 of their last 7 games, having made a really positive start to the season. Speaking of positive starts to the season, Mickleover Sports are 3rd in the table. They were 1-0 winners against Scarborough Athletic, who continue to struggle. Early headed chance from Pablo Mills before a couple of efforts at the other end for Scarborough. Paul Walker just not being able to keep a shot down from a tight angle. Mikelova's surge coincides with Lee Hughes, the veteran striker, scored for the 4th successive game, and what a finish that was with the keeper in no man's land. It's been a tough start to life for John Deasy at Scarborough. They're 18th with just 1 win from 10 games so far this season. Elsewhere, Kieran Charnock scored in the 6th minute of injury time to rescue a point for Bamber Bridge at home to Witton Albion, who had taken the lead through Billy Smart in the first half. Lancaster City got the better of Matlock Town 1-0. Paul Dawson, 18th minute goal, enough to win that one. And at Bowerfold, FC United were 3-2 winners over Staley Bridge Celtic. Paul Ennis with a 90th minute winner for FC, who continue to climb the table. So South Shields are top. They're 8 points clear of the chasing pack. Whitby and Nantwich both in FA Cup action with some games to catch up on. And at the bottom, Buxton still bottom of the table with Stafford on 4 points. Stafford 2 were in FA Cup action. Bamber Bridge, Atherton, Scarborough, Gainsborough and Radcliffe all on 8 points, having played a varying number of games. BetVictor Northern Premier South East Division action now from Glossop, who thumped Spalding United 6-1 on Saturday. Poya Ahmadi with a hat-trick of goals. That was the one that sealed it as well. With further goals, Mohamed Sheriff with the 3rd, Prince Ekpolo with the 4th, and then Livesey Mason fired one at the end. Spalding did get one back. Elliot Ramsden in the 79th minute. It was mere consolation.
You're all right there, aren't you, Scotty? Yes.
Results elsewhere in the South East Division. Carlton Town won for the 4th successive away game. They were 2-0 winners against Chase Town. Loughborough Dynamo, Ryan Robbins' penalty was enough for them to beat Lincoln United 1-0. Market Drayton Town remained bottom of the table. They lost 4-1 at home to Worksop Town, who are doing okay on the road this season. Andrew Gascoigne getting them underway with a penalty on 19 minutes. Cleethorpes Town were 2-1 winners at Newcastle Town. Alex Flett and Lewis Collins scoring the goals for Cleethorpes after Jack van der Laan had scored within a minute of Flett's opener. Ilkeston came from 2-0 down to win 3-2 at Sheffield. Chris Robertson scored an own goal to put Sheffield in front on 52 minutes. Ryan McLean made it 2-0. And it looked like the points may be staying at the home of football, but it wasn't to be. Thomas Fielding and Sean Harrod scored 2 goals in 3 minutes as Ilkeston pulled level, and then Thomas Marshall pinched it at the death. Stamford were 5-1 winners at home to Frickley Athletic. Tom Siddons and Tendai Chatiza with braces apiece. And Stocksbridge Park Steels won 3-1 at Wisbech Town. That leaves the table. Carlton back on top of the tree, with Leek Town not in action in the league over the weekend. Cleethorpes up to 3rd, Ilkeston 4th, and Stamford rounding off the playoff places. At the bottom, Market Drayton in all worlds of trouble. They are bottom with 3 points from 12 games. Sutton Coldfield Town and Kidsgrove both down there, but with plenty of games in hand. In the North West Division, a penalty in the dying seconds for City of Liverpool gave them a 1-0 win over Ossett United, who had 3 men sent off, including 2 relating to the penalty incident. Kendal Town picked up a rare point at home to Droylsden 1-1. Marine were 6-0 winners over Mosley. Marsh United are the only unbeaten side left in the North West Division, and they preserved that record with a 2-2 draw at home to league leaders Workington. Curtis Round and Andrew Stevenson got the goals for Marsh, both times cancelled out by Liam Brockbank and Ash Kelly. Pickering Town, they're bottom of the table, and they lost 3-2 at home to Clitheroe despite leading 2-0 after 26 minutes. Connor Gall pulled a goal back for Clitheroe just before half-time, and his second levelled things up on 77 minutes before Jake Connolly struck a winner for Clitheroe 8 minutes from time. Vaughan Redford's first-minute goal proved the only action of note for Pontefract Collieries as they beat Runcorn Linnets 1-0. Ramsbottom United beat Brighouse Town 2-0. Lewis Salmon's penalty was enough for Trafford to beat Prescott Cables 1-0, and Jake Day helped Tadcaster Albion win 1-0 at Widnes. Workington remain top of the table. They're 5 points clear of Tadcaster, who have 4 games in hand in second place and are going really well with 6 wins from their 8 games so far. Prescott Cables' defeat means they lose ground. They're third. Pontefract Collieries are up into the playoff places. Marsk down in 7th with 4 wins and 3 draws from their 7 games. At the bottom, Pickering losing at home means they remain bottom on 4 points. Kendal move up a place with Dunstan in FA Cup action. City of Liverpool climb a few places into 13th. There were 13 NPL clubs in FA Cup third qualifying round action over the weekend. Just 4 progressed to the fourth qualifying round draw. The 3 winners, Belper Town, they caused a bit of an upset. They beat Rushall Olympic 2-1. Alex Peterson and Charlie Dawes scoring the goals for them, and they were rewarded with a tie at former Football League club Notts County in the next round. A place in the first round proper, the prize if they can win that one. Nantwich Town beat Morpeth Town with a 90th minute goal from Joe Muswali. That got them through to the fourth qualifying round. They'll play Kings Lynn Town in the fourth qualifying round. Kings Lynn Town saw off Leek Town on Saturday with a 2-0 win in Staffordshire. Also through is Colne. They won on the North East yet again after beating South Shields in the first qualifying round. They returned to the North East to face Dunstan in the third qualifying round and were 3-2 winners. Sefton Gonzalez hitting the winner 4 minutes from time. It's another trip to the North East for them in the fourth qualifying round too. They're away at Gateshead. Gateshead were won against Northern Premier League opposition too. JJ O'Donnell's 61st minute goal seeing them beat Kidsgrove Athletic 1-0. Still in the hat are Whitby Town. They drew 1-1 with Gloucester City, conceding a 90th minute equaliser, which forces a replay down in Gloucester on Monday night. Should they get through that replay, they'll host Stourbridge. Stourbridge beat Stafford Rangers 2-1 on Saturday in a game that was delayed for a considerable amount of time following a head injury to Stafford defender Dan Burns, who we understand is okay following that incident there. Elsewhere, Sutton Coldfield Town put up a fight at home to Boston United but went down 1-0. David Shields scoring the only goal of the game on 69 minutes. Buxton took the lead against York City. Diego Di Girolamo's 11th minute goal meant they led 1-0 at half-time, but an Alex Brown own goal and a Nathan Dyer struck York's winner 10 minutes from time to send them through. Warrington Town, who were the NPL club who progressed furthest last season, getting to a fourth qualifying round replay. They won't be doing that this season. They were soundly beaten 2-0 away at Brackley Town. And Ashton United were thumped 6-2 at home by Spennymoor Town. They did lead 2-1, did Ashton, after 16 minutes, but 4 goals from Glenn Taylor turned things around and Spennymoor will progress to the next round. Midweek action this week starts Monday night. The replay we mentioned earlier, Gloucester City against Whitby in the FA Cup. There's plenty of County Cup action too throughout the week. On Tuesday night though, it's BetVictor Northern Premier Division action. There's a full programme of games nearly, some disrupted due to County Cup fixtures, but Bamber Bridge will host Nantwich Town, Buxton welcome Grantham Town, Matlock Town plays Scarborough Athletic as Steve Kittrick goes up against his former club, High Flying Michelova Sports welcome Morpeth Town. South Shields host Stalybridge Celtic. Witton Albion travel to Stafford Rangers. And Warrington Town host Lancaster City. All of them, of course, a 7:45pm kickoff on Tuesday. There's also an FA Trophy extra preliminary round replay. Tadcaster Albion host City of Liverpool after they drew in their first tie last Tuesday night, which was, of course, rearranged, having been postponed initially. And there is Integral League Cup first round action at Frickley. They welcome Sheffield. That's it from the Northern Premier League Goal Show this week. We'll be back every Monday with the best of the goals from the weekend. Please give us your feedback, let us know what you'd like to see, and we'll hopefully see you soon.